So how can somebody tell that what their experience might be a relapse?
So I think if someone is experiencing new symptoms or a significant worsening of old symptoms that last for more than 24 hours, that would be a time where we could consider that might be a relapse. It's important to recognize that these symptoms can occur at any time of the day or night. So you could go to bed completely fine and you could wake up in the morning with these symptoms and not been aware of it during the night. And they all vary depending on which part of the nervous system is affected as to what those symptoms might be. So I've put some common ones here, but obviously it's not limited to this, but some of the most common symptoms that we see are new numbness and tingling, new areas of weakness, changes in vision. So that could be blurred vision, double vision, loss of vision, problems with balance and coordination, changes in sensation, and significant worsening of mobility. So that's just a few of those things that could indicate that person is having a relapse. It lasts for more than 24 hours and it will continue to evolve or remain quite significant. Other symptoms would resolve once the trigger is removed. Take away the hot weather, things will get better. Take away the stress, take away the infection. Relapse is not caused by fever, infection, or overheating. A pseudo-relapse is triggered by those factors, but not caused by it. A relapse would represent new inflammation within the nervous system, where a pseudo-relapse would not. So we typically would test for urinary tract infections, whether someone is symptomatic or not, and that it really is because a UTI can be asymptomatic and quite often can be unnoticed, and people maybe don't have symptoms and things. So we would always check for infection, and if they'd had some recent bloods, we would maybe be looking at inflammatory markers and things like that.
And are there any sort of key warning signs? You've already mentioned some of the sort of symptoms that people can have, but is there anything that people shouldn't ignore if they're noticing it?
Yeah, so I think any sudden loss of vision or significant change in vision shouldn't be ignored. Where we are in the southeast, we've got a sort of local emergency eye department, which we would advise. So if we had somebody that called with a sort of significant change to vision, we were thinking, oh, maybe this could be a relapse. The first thing we would do with them would be to advise that they went to the eye department to have their eyes checked, and they're very good down there. They're very good there. They would normally do that for us. I think another one would be this sudden weakness that affects its sort of ability to stand or walk, any difficulty speaking or swallowing, severe confusion or drowsiness. Loss of bladder or bowel function is important, and any sort of new numbness. I would also just say that it is kind of important to recognise that whilst people have MS, they can still experience other illnesses and disease as well. So it's always important to seek medical attention if you have any of those symptoms, whether that be speaking to the MS nurse or the GP, because sometimes we need to rule out other causes of those symptoms as well, because there are other things that can cause similar symptoms.